All right. Things are looking good. Stream is going. Rumble's showing a few problems, but nothing. It doesn't look like it'll work itself out before too long. I think we are ready to rock and roll. What's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and we're back once again. A little late in the week, a little late in the day, for another Destiny 2 live stream. TGIF, everybody. Happy Friday. Congratulations, you have made it to your weekend. Good to see you guys. I hope you've all been well. It's been quite a week of work for your boy. It's been a very, very tiring week. I've been up to quite a bit. You might have noticed, didn't stream yesterday, didn't stream Wednesday. Man, Monday through Tuesday, I was just wiped out. A lot of stuff going on, and then Wednesday, decided to just sleep in. I didn't wake up until like noon. Then after I got up, I basically had to do a bunch of stuff on the house, doing a little bit of work on the house. That wiped me out, and then yesterday was just another long day at the job. Whew, been getting a lot of those. But hey, money is money. And I have made it to Friday, and so have you. It's time for the weekend, time for some chill plans, because, you know, summer is in full swing, baby. It's time to plan some barbecues. It's time to plan some beach days. It's time to go outside and string bikinis. And yes, that is a direct order. By the way, good morning, Shiloh. Good to see you, girl. Yo, Bramelda, what's up, man? 6 months, baby. Yo, good to see you. Mark 2011, what's up, dude? Good to see you. And of course, over on the Rumble side of things, you guys are already on and popping. Chrono says, happy opposite day, White Mario. Excuse you. It's White Ganon, thank you. Good to see you, Chrono. Yo, Shiloh over on Rumble 2, Lord Darkon, good to see you guys. Big Squeak, what's up? Says, you know it's going to be a good day when you start your morning with Chick-fil-A chicken biscuits. Come on, man. You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me, Squeak. I have I'm in Florida, so we got plenty of Chick-fil-A's around. But the nearest one to me is like 35 minutes away. Not at all a reasonable drive in the morning for me to do. I do it at work, because it's like maybe 8 minutes away from my job. So, you know, when I go to work, I can leave. If I leave work early enough, which I almost never do, I can go get some. But definitely not early in the day for me. That is unfair. Funfair. Jealous' 10-year-old made a deli meat sandwich for breakfast. Yeah, but that's based. Chicken slices, Colby Jack cheese, sliced radishes, and mustard with Miracle Whip. Your 10-year-old has a rather refined palate. He likes radishes? That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Keep it going. Gonna be doing some basic stuff, the seasonal nonsense. Let's see what's going on this week.
All this golden age tech is impressive stuff. Almost makes you wonder how they lost back then. You dig? About that, if we're looking to win this time, I need Savathun's swamp to wash up a few finishing touches for my rig. Cracking skulls and looting halls is your bag, hero. That's why you're headed to her throne.
Oh, they remember the throne world.
That pyramid Savvy brought down, it's cut off from the witness. Scorned bigwigs been digging tech we can use out of that burning heap. All you have to do is find them and take it. Then you let old Drifter worry about the kit bashing. Easy. Hey, one more thing. Zivu dripping nonsense in your head, too?
Yes.
She's been recounting some of my more heroic exploits. Dark Age's been on my mind. You know how the past is. You pull the trigger and people die, so you don't have to. Then, someone comes along and wants to forgive you for that. Like it's fine. Won't ask what Zivu's judging up for a killer like you. Wouldn't be polite.
Yeah, we've killed a lot of things.
Been under pressure so long, everybody's looking for cracks. Don't get me wrong, coin to table, she's been through it. But I don't think Sloane's looking to be told it's fine. 'Cause it ain't. 'Cause it needs to be ugly to win. then you live with it.
Yeah, that's war.
See you on the other side.
God, I love Drifter. This dude is great. Oh, okay, so the 10-year-old is your girl. Your boy's 14. Well then, your 10-year-old girl has rather refined taste. Sliced radishes. First off, making a deli sandwich. Like, what kind of patrician-tasted child wakes up in the morning and is like, yes, today my breakfast shall be boar's head. That's phenomenal. That's excellent stuff. By the way, when you're completing the assignment, Shiloh, you know, the string bikini assignment, have your kid make you a deli sandwich. That sounds like a good lunch.
And that bar you used to tend at the base of Felwinter Peak. You went by Moonbing, as I recall. Made some coin selling drinks to the Iron Lords. And spent it hiring them to do jobs on the side. Remember all of that?
Yeah, I remember. You left out the part where you threatened to burn it down.
Maybe I should have. I never asked you why you ran that little operation. What did you stand to gain?
With how your pack of wolves tipped their bartender, not much. That place never got too busy, but I had my regulars, and they all had their problems. Some of them just weren't that easy to see from on top of a mountain. Maybe I wanted to call them to your attention.
Ah, so you had a better perspective.
Not better, just different.
I suppose I can see the value in that.
Everything's got value, old wolf. You just gotta know where to look.
I love these, like, golden age, or rather dark age interactions between Drifter and basically everybody. Telling old war stories. You know, last week we got a little cutscene where they're talking about how Drifter's amongst the oldest guardians out there. He was back there during the Dark Ages when the Iron Lords were running around wrecking things. I love hearing some of that stuff. It's some of the most interesting stuff for me from all of Destiny, and I want more of it. Glad we're finally exploring some of that. Hey, Long Girl, we're gonna hop to it this week. I raised her right. Yes, you did, Big Mama. Yes, you did. Collect amorphous alloys by defeating Scorn on Savathun's throne world. First off, gross. I mean, I'm glad we're going back to Savvy's throne world. But what would be the most expedient way to get this done? Oh, well, it'd probably be a public event. Which I'm going to be... Oh, you know what? It would actually be Wellspring, wouldn't it? I haven't played a single Wellspring since, like, oh, good lord. It's gotta be at least 2 seasons. It's gotta be at least 2 seasons. Yo, ACH Plays over on YouTube. What's up? Good to see you. Says, what's up, homie? What's cooking? Not much, man. It's Friday. It's time for the weekend. It's summer. And like I said, I don't know what that means for you guys, but here in Florida, that means it's time to take off your shirt and go outside. I've done that once this week. Maybe I'll get to it a little bit more this weekend. Oh, you know, I'd love to hear some of you guys' weekend plans. What I've got going on this weekend, because I got a little bit of time off from work next week, so expect a whole lot of live streams. I'm gonna have a lot of free time next week. And here's the best part about that. So next week, like I said, I've got some time off of work. I had already planned out basically all the errands I was gonna run next week. Listen, kids, when you get older, what vacation time becomes is time. It's the time you get to do all the things that you didn't have time to do, which means replacing windows or fixing parts of the house, replacing a water heater, fixing your washer and dryer, pressure washing the driveway, all the adult things. Sound off, moms and dads out there. Isn't that the world when you become an adult? That's what vacation time is for. Like, yeah, it's the time I get to go and do all of the things that I don't have time to do right now. And so that's what I was gonna do next week. I was gonna I had some things to take care of. There's a old AC window unit I have in the office that I put in a couple years ago when my air conditioner broke, and you know, it was in 2020, so like it was super hard to get a contractor to actually come out to anybody's house and put in a unit. It was like a 3-week wait before anybody would come out and do anything, because everybody was still terrified of COVID and whatnot. So I went out, bought a window unit, put it in, really only used it for like, I think maybe a total of 2 weeks. So I was able to find a local guy to come in, you know, assess my system, take out my old central cooling unit, and put in a new one. And man, this thing is goated. It keeps me ice cold. I don't know about you guys, but I live in Florida. I keep it cold in the house. But I've had this window unit in the office for the last 3 years, basically. Haven't been using it, and I've been wanting to take it out, but I just didn't have the time, didn't know where I'd put it. Found out that a friend of mine, her air conditioner broke, and she's a wonderful young woman, has a young kid, and her air conditioner broke last week, I do believe, and she and like her 8-year-old kid have basically been living in 95 to 99 degree 110 heat index Florida for the past couple of days without AC. And as a boy who did not grow up rich, I know what it's like to live in Florida without air conditioning. It's not good. And I thought, oh, well, you know what? This will be perfect. I actually have 2 window units. Both of them are, like I said, the one in my office I've used for like maybe 2 weeks. The other one I haven't used at all. I bought it because I figured I'd use it in another room while the air conditioner wasn't working. But like I said, I got somebody out within 2 weeks to come put in a new unit. So it's just kind of been sitting in storage for a while. So I figured, you know what? I've got 2 units. I'll give her one. Or I'll give her both of them. That way she can use one for her bedroom and the other for her kid's bedroom. Because no kid should have to sleep sweaty, you know. Everybody who's ever had to sleep in 80+ degree weather knows what a miserable experience that is. And it works perfectly. I've been trying to get rid of these darn things, but I haven't known what to do with them. So, kind of hit her up. And I thought it was going to take me a while to get those things out of the window. So that's what I was going to do next week. Part of next week was going to be me going, taking the frame off the window, taking the air conditioners out. Then I got to reseal the window, put the screen back on, and all that kind of stuff. And I figured, oh, that'd be a day's job, so I'll do it on vacation. Well, yesterday, I had a little bit of free time in the morning, and I thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. It took me 40 minutes to get both of those units out and done. It took no time at all. It was phenomenal. It was great. I was able to get it done before I even had to go to work. I was thrilled with that. So I called her up. She came by to get them. She got them in. She's got air conditioning now. Super happy about that. And that was going to be my big job for next week. So now I don't have to do it. Now I can actually relax on some of my vacation time next week. And let me tell you, ooh, does that feel good. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the free time. This weekend, what I do believe I'm going to do is I'm going to do some yard work. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to be shirtless. I told you, your boy's been losing weight. Starting to look pretty good. So I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do my shirtless 90 degree weather or yard stuff. And then there's this burger joint that I live near that is really just absolutely phenomenal. They're a little smash burger joint that a friend of mine started up back in 2020. He quit his job, bought a little food truck, and just started making smash burgers. Wound up being, pun intended, a complete smash hit. Was so successful that he made so much money he was able to basically buy his own storefront, and he gave his kids the food truck, so they still take the food truck all around the county that I live in, and he has his own storefront now. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to head out, get me some, he's doing brisket burgers this weekend as a bit of a special, so I'm going to go out, get me some brisket burgers, do some shirtless lawn work, because, you know, I'm a Florida man, we're basically required to. And that'll be my Saturday. What I'm doing on Sunday, I ain't got a clue. And that's an amazing feeling. Oh, it's so good to just have time off and not have anything to do. Sit here and let these guys and Arc Soul do the work. Hey TBL, can you look me up on Destiny Stat Tracker? I can't get to the site to load for me. I mean, I'll do it after the stream. Not while I'm on it. Why? You trying to flex? Trying to show off? I dig it.
Wellspring's weakening. Let's keep at it.
Drifter reminds you of Yondu? Oh, from Guardians? Yeah, absolutely. Just a down-to-earth bandit with a heart of gold. Who's also named Mary Poppins. By the way, I never saw Guardians 3. Is it out on, there's no way it's out on Disney Plus yet, right? They've been moving stuff to streaming platforms quick, but not that quick. I heard it was really good. I definitely want to see it. Get her! Damn, old girl didn't even get a chance to wake up. Yo, David, what's up, man? I moved to Arkansas from Miami a year and a half ago. Yeah, oh, dude. Miami, I was just in Miami. What was that, a month and a half ago? I love Miami because it's beautiful. There's so many things to do. I hate Miami because of the traffic and the people there. Getting to Miami is always a hassle. Once you're there, it's great. Beaches are great, the town is great, the clubs are great. But man, getting there is a hassle. And the people there are, oof,
Shields are weakening.
a lot to deal with. Here, take an arc soul for your trouble. As you can tell, I'm testing out a new build. Basically a build working off of Arc Soul and like the 37 different buffs that that Arc subclasses get this season. If you run your artifact right, you can basically be unkillable as an Arc Warlock. You'll have basically infinite grenades, infinite melee, pretty quick recharge on your super, and a super empowered Arc Soul that blinds enemies, causes explosions every time you get a kill, automatically jolts you, creates several ionic traces every time it gets a kill. Arc Soul is definitely worthwhile this season. You toss on Getaway Artists and it's just ridiculous. Just want to know how I've been doing lately. Site won't load on my computer or phone. It hates me. I wonder if there's something going on with it. Yo, White Direwolf, what's up, brother? Also, something I just realized is that its entire Wellspring is the Hive one,
Keep up the fine
not the
work,
Scorn
Guardian.
one. That's alright, I haven't played this in forever. Come to pass. Turn about, shoot to loot. Are there even any decent rolls that you can get with the come to pass? Rangefinder on a bow? Question mark. I am glad that they upped the drop rate for like all of the Wellspring weapons. Those things used to be really, really annoying. It took forever to get those. Yo, MTG pre-release tonight, nerfing tomorrow, probably gonna cook and call pops on Sunday. That's what I like to hear, man. You got it all set up. Get you some Magic the Gathering, call your pops on Sunday, and make sure you guys do. If your dad's in your life, call him. Tell him I love you. And not just on Sunday, other days as well. I live in Texas, I try to keep it set to 67. See, girl, this is why, like, You and me, we're partial soulmates. Man, everybody who comes to my house is like, man, you keep it cold in here. Like, nah, dog, you don't understand. You don't understand. I love it. I love it nice and icy cool in here. Keep it in the 60s. If it's got to be in the 70s, then like 70, like on the dot. 70 to 71. It doesn't need to be any warmer than that. I'll pay the bill. I keep that air conditioner going. Summer is always hot and miserable in Florida. And like I said, your boy didn't grow up super rich. There were a lot of summers I spent sitting hot. So, I make sure that I get all of my AC time in. Here, homie. Get yourself a homie. I feel you, Shiloh. 100%.
I know you're eavesdropping, neon nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing brings
Imaru.
folks
I haven't heard from
together
him in
like a
forever.
common
Where are you going?
enemy. You got a
my
lot
chest.
of enemies. Watch your butts.
Oh, are we already done with the public event? How sad. Arc explosions, baby. I figure this lost sector is probably the quickest on the throne world, so it's probably the easiest place to go to get the scorn kills without having to worry about competing with other people. Fresh my arc, buddy. Get him empowered. Yeah, with this build, you're just getting so many arc kills. You're constantly jolted. You're making ionic traces all over the place. Those ionic traces are giving you all of your abilities back. Yeah, that was quick and easy. And now, because there's like 3 different stacking buffs on being jolted and getting yourself damage resistance, you just ignore damage. It's like having your own personal woven mail. And as a warlock, you know, you can just drop a rift and get the woven mail defense buff plus some extra health on top of it. We're already done with the challenge. We might as well finish the sector. Traffic, living costs, and shitty schools is precisely why I left. Dude, the living costs in Miami are absolutely insane. And it's crazy because 20 years ago, it was nowhere near as high as it is now. I mean, don't get me wrong, Miami's always been a party city, but it was kind of an affordable party city. And in the last 20 years, it's just shot through the roof. That's happened with a lot of Florida, though. Florida used to be a really cheap place to live. And entire housing market's kind of gone a little nutty. But we know how that goes. See a rise, you see a fall. School system is bad down there. Ooh, Miami-Dade County. Ooh, man. Really feel the boost to damage Chaos Reach got. Not bad at all. Dive. Alright, let's head in. To make sure it's match made this time so I don't suffer through this whole thing by myself. I think I just made a little kid's day. I work at a credit union. Good on you for working at a credit union, not a bank, by the way, Brom. Credit unions are based. And we can't hand out suckers anymore, but we got a bunch of stickers, and I heard such an adorable squeal of joy from the kid. Wait, they don't let you hand out candy anymore? That's weak. I used to, man, when I was a little kid, every time I went to the bank with my mom and dad, I always got me a lollipop or something. Why don't they allow that anymore? That's super weird. I'm not gonna lie, Shiloh. When I read your comment about looking on D+, I thought it was you were talking about something else. I was about to say, girl, you're supposed to DM me that stuff. Then I remembered I was talking about Guardians. Damn. Cost of AC is the cost of not killing people. I get irritable when I'm hot. Oh, absolutely. Like, it's crazy to think about, but you got to remember, about 100 or so years ago, people didn't live like beyond a certain point down south in Florida because it was just too hot. You would die if you did. We had colonies down there that people would go to at certain times of the year, and then they'd travel back further north because it was just too hot to survive. You gotta have AC. I have zero problems paying for, power bills have gotten expensive, as has everything. Thanks to the current economic situation we seem to find ourselves in. But I will pay to have my AC running all the time. I want to walk around my house naked and be cold. I was making six figures and struggling to find decent housing. Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. I'm not rich or anything, but I make a decent amount of money at the job I've been at. I've been at it a long time. I'm in management now. I make an okay amount of money. And even I'm looking around like, man, if I want to buy another house, if I want to move, I gotta bump my earnings up by at least another 20K. It's crazy, and I live in a small, sleepy town. Like, I'm right out on the Space Coast. Getting tired of you bumping me up, taking Blight. But I can only hope that the market's gonna come back down to earth, and it has to. Like, the current price situation for housing in Florida is unsustainable. It's kind of been held up by, the influx of people coming from up north. We got a lot of transplants from New York. And so they're kind of picking up some of they're kind of picking up a lot of the latent housing because they are moving to Florida, usually with a higher level of earning than most people down here. Because, the cost of living used to be way lower down here in Florida. It should really send that message to everybody to say, a fire team member is seeking to, whatever with the darkness. Hey, buddy. But yeah, these current, man, in my area, there's some, literal little shacks around that are going for, 300,000 just because everything else in the area is. We're talking a two-bedroom. We're talking a little two-bedroom shack on a very small lot. 1,000 square feet going for 300,000 now. That is good for the homeowner, Sell your place, get that money, and get out now if you can find a cheaper place to live. But it's not sustainable. Absolutely not sustainable. We'll see, though. Exploded, blinded, and teleported, apparently. Ogre decided he didn't want to be there anymore. I love that. There's a particular aspect you can run so that every time you get an arc kill, it causes a detonation that blinds nearby enemies. Super good. You've been blocked. Yeah, there's so much arc synergy right now. It's good. Yo, Mr. Frosty is. What's up, dude? Good to see you. You don't ask questions anymore? Oh, well. I guess the days of kids getting free lollipops at doctor's offices and, damn, I just get... Oh, I got tag teamed by ogres. I got that Grand Ogre DP. Well, it's an ogre, so I guess it's just the double dip. One was like, I'll sit on his face. The other one's like, I'll sit on his crotch. I live 5 miles from Homestead, Miami. I loved it, but kids make you prioritize differently? Absolutely. Gotta do what's right for the kids. How's Arkansas? I know a few people who've moved out there. They love it. I could never leave Florida, though. There's just something about being close to the water that I like. I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. Unless somebody offers me a ridiculous amount of money to move somewhere. Like that'll get me out of here. But I'll make my money and then move right on back. I love living near the ocean. It's just something about it for me. Spent a lot of time living out in the desert in California, and I hated it. I hate California in general.
Well executed, fire team. Your next objective rests at a lower depth, well behind enemy lines. Move
Enhanced
carefully.
shields, minor foes. Those seem to be redundant buffs.
Hive taken. Fallen who never made it off Titan.
Grand Ogre DP. Yeah,
Not
man.
much has changed for me.
I
When
wondered
you
why
head to the
Felix
party and
here flew no
wind up getting
banners.
tag teamed by ogres.
You really think nothing has changed, even with Asa?
It's the same fight, Saladin. The pieces move around, the lines inch back and forth, but this still just feels like attrition.
One of Xivu Arath's most prevalent tactics. But that's all it is. You feel attrition because she imposes it. We will outlast her.
I didn't get the thing up there. That's fine, though. I like all the little things they hid in these missions. And you boys move fast. I didn't even see you pass me. I'd love to live in North Cali or Washington, redwoods, mountains, and ocean within all within the same area. Yeah, I've always. If there's a part of California I love, it's San Diego and North California, like right up there around Washington. It is absolutely beautiful. The forests are beautiful. The redwoods. It's almost surreal when you go see the redwoods. I've only been up there once, but I remember it, man. It's like out of a storybook. Got you, homie. Not to say that there aren't other pretty parts of California. You know, the wine valleys are great, but man, it's just there's so much nonsense in California. I hated living there. Places that used to be beautiful are just completely jacked up now. LA's always been a dirty city, but it had its charms, but it is just completely disgusting now. It's kind of starting to happen to San Diego, too. Hey, stop touching my things. Get him, Ark Buddy. Like, Long Beach is still pretty nice. They still keep parts of Long Beach in pretty good shape. Because that's, you know, a huge tourist area. People want to go there, you know, hop on the route and head right up and down it and just ride the coast, ride all the beaches up and down. You got to keep that area nice. Beach by Gold's Gym is, okay. But they're filming parts of Barbie now. Which unironically looks like it's going to be great. I don't know about you guys. Every trailer I've seen for the Barbie movie is charming as hell. It looks like it's going to be fun. Never would have thought I'd say that. Yeah, the Barbie movie looks really good. I never would have thought those words would come out of my mouth. My sister lives in LA and she loves it. How? How does she love it? That town is so dirty. The price of everything is so insane right now. There's homeless people literally everywhere. Like, quite literally everywhere. You can't leave your car anywhere that isn't in a covered garage. Like, a lot of the cities are having that problem right now, and so much so that car rental places are kind of stopping service in a lot of those areas. Or putting clauses in that's like, yeah, man, if you're going to leave the car, you got to take on some extra liability because you could park your car out on the street to go inside of a place for 10 minutes. Within that 10 minutes, you'll come out and somebody will have broken into your car. Happened to like 3 people I know the last time I was in California, just within the time that we were there. And we were there for a family reunion. And man, it happened to 3 of the people who came down to the reunion while they were there with rental cars. It was crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I can't. Well, I guess, you know, just some people just love the city. Some people love being that close to Hollywood. Different strokes, I guess. Same for people who love living in New York. I can't stand New York either. I'm just not a city boy. I am a country boy through and through. Hey. Go away.
Drill offline. Focus up, fire team.
Yeah, now that I think of it, my cousin lives in LA, and she loves it too, and I could never understand it, but she's very cosmopolitan. She is all about that city life. Yeah, different strokes, I guess. It's a good fusion rifle.
This sector is crawling with Hive and Taken. Let's head down and dodge some of this heat.
Be down to do some Destiny stuff this weekend, potentially. Don't really know how much time I'm gonna be gaming. We'll see though. Born damage, man. I ain't in the sky. I'm not playing solar. She used to live across the street from Warner Brothers. Well, I guess I can understand that. She's in a. It's funny. She's in the part of town where all the production studios are. Then I know exactly where. I'm not going to say it, of course, on stream, but I know exactly where she was. She was right across the street from Warner Brothers.
Almost didn't come back a few times.
Yeah, there's some nice parts around there. It's basically...
Almost didn't want to.
It's interesting. That part of town is basically entirely dilapidated-looking studios, high-rise apartments, and then, like, storefronts. That's basically the entire part of that town. You do see a lot of stars out there. Like, shoot, the last time I was in LA, I was walking around, walked right past Chris Tucker. It was phenomenal. It was awesome. He was just out with his entourage, just walking around. Like, oh, look at that. It's Chris Tucker. him and a couple of I think a couple of players from the Lakers at the time. This was a couple years ago. But yeah, that's what it's like. You go to that part of town, you'll just see some movie stars out doing their thing. And for the love of God, if you do see that, listen, we all understand excitement. Don't approach them. Leave those people alone. leave those people alone. Yes, they are attention whores, but everybody just wants to live their life sometimes. Leave them alone. And when I saw Chris Tucker, I ain't run up to Chris Tucker and be like, "Oh my God, sign my face, sign my tits." Nah, it's just leave the homie alone. She gets paid better than I do. Yeah, I mean, if she lives out there, most of the jobs do have a really inflated, well, I won't say inflated, because I don't want to insinuate that your sister doesn't deserve her salary. Yes, she does. I don't even care what she does. She deserves it. She deserves the money she makes. But yeah, the standard of the cost of living is super duper high, so almost necessarily the wages there have to be high. That overcharged Arc Soul, baby. Yoink. Way back in 2018, I went to see a super cool artist live. Got my photo taken with him too. That's awesome. See, if you're at a show, absolutely, because they're there for that. But if you're like out on the street, and I mean, I'm sure some of them are most of them are probably perfectly fine with it because they understand that's the life they live. But man, when I see videos of people like approaching somebody at a grocery store and they've got like a stack of papers, or at an airport, I could not think of anything I'd want to do less than go sign a bunch of stuff at an airport. If I'm at an airport, I'm on a schedule. I either just got off a plane or I'm trying to get on a plane. I got to make these flights. You just got through security. There's all these people around. You don't want to be there. It's the most tedious thing in the world. Last thing I want to do is sign a bunch of nonsense for somebody that I know is just going to put it up on eBay 3 seconds later. Yeah, definitely. I definitely wouldn't approach anybody if they're at like an airport or a grocery store or something and be like, "Hey, yes, sign my child." But at a show? Yeah, absolutely. I remember, down here in Florida, I remember in the 90s, I used to see celebrities down at the beach all the time. There's a lot of, in particular, you guys know I'm a huge wrestling fan. And a lot of wrestlers used to live here in Florida. A lot still do. Like the number one wrestler in the world right now lives lives here in Florida. I think he lives not quite in Orlando. He might live in Jacksonville. But a lot of big wrestlers used to live in Florida. Like Hulk Hogan lived here in Florida. Randy Savage lived here in Florida. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, if you're an old 80s wrestling fan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was my neighbor in the late 80s, early 90s. He lived right up the street from me. I used to go to his house. Listen, I know all that stuff I just talked about not bothering celebrities when they're, in a more personal environment. This man was my neighbor, and I was like 4. And I was a huge wrestling fan. But he had a gym in his garage, and I used to go and hang out with him. Very nice man, very wonderful family, him and his wife and his kids. And he used to tolerate me coming by and hanging out with him when he would work out in his gym. And every now and again, I'd see other famous wrestlers there working out with him. Pretty sure I met Hulk Hogan there once. No. Met Hulk Hogan down at Cocoa Beach. He was out there surfing. This was like early 90s. He was out there surfing, and he was there with a couple other wrestlers. That was awesome. Nice as he could be. Dude was a real life superhero. But yeah, I used to see a lot of wrestlers out in Cocoa Beach, just walking around. I remember one of my favorite memories was it might be mid-90s. Me and my older brother are out on the beach. We're walking back from the pier. Cocoa Beach has a pretty famous pier with, you know, a bunch of little stores and attractions and stuff on it. And as we're walking down, you know, the sidewalk, you know, next to the beach, we see this cool-looking dude just sauntering by himself. Looks familiar to us, so we keep walking because we're going to pass him eventually. As it comes really into view, we recognize it. It's freaking Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. He's just out sauntering down the beach. And this is around the time when, right before the NWO became a thing, but he was still a part of, you know, him and Diesel were doing their thing in WWF back then. The Scott Hall was still on top of the, you know, world in terms of wrestling popularity. And he's just out sauntering by the beach. So we freak out. We wave at him. And he just looks at us without missing a beat. Does the whole little finger guns thing and just goes, "Hey, yo." And just walks right past and continues on with his business. The coolest thing we had ever seen. As kids, it was the coolest thing we'd ever seen. God rest his soul. He was a cool guy. Very nice man. Oh, you're at a Lindsey Sterling concert? I like her.
Be the one left.
She's a pretty good violinist. Got real big in like the mid 2000s. In the video game industry for, you know, she would do a lot of renditions of video games and had a lot of original music that was really, really good. Lindsey Sterling's very good. Wait, who were you neighbors with? Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Wrestler from the 80s. Really nice man. Very nice man. Wonderful family. His wife was as sweet as she could be. And again, she tolerated a couple of little black boys come into her gym every other day. Come into her house and sitting in her garage every other day so we could watch her husband work out. Because we were starstruck. I wonder if he remembers us. He moved away from Florida a long time ago. I think he's out in like the Midwest now. Good for him. Alright, teleport us, you weenie. Servitors are done. Reminds me of the time, International Spy Museum. I was on the escort team when Gwyneth Paltrow and her family came through. Had Obama and his family come in on multiple occasions. That's awesome. I was gonna make a did she hand out, you know, wax candles that smell like her vagina, but I figured that'd be in bad taste. So instead of making the joke, I just explained the joke that I was gonna make instead. Very respectful. Oh, this man got cooked. Well, you gotta survive, Taylor. It's up to you. Thank you. You boys go. Get yourself an arc buddy. Never leave home without him. Why are you over there, my friend? Making me get slightly cooked. I can't believe you've done this. Zen moment incandescent. I was just asking for an incandescent auto rifle the other day, wasn't I? I was literally just asking for this the other day. I think on the last stream. Will use. I've told you guys about, speaking of celebrity experiences, I told you guys about my mom's celebrity experiences. She calls herself a movie star. Now, she's a certified movie star, because if you've been on the channel for a while, you guys know that I've lived out on the Space Coast for a long time. And my parents both worked basically as engineers out at, not necessarily at NASA, but at some of the companies out there. Damn! Oh, that was the combination of the heat wave plus the melee. Yeah, that's my fault. I shouldn't have tried to rescue that guy. That was my fault. But, oh! He was able to respawn. You did it, you did it, homie. You saved us. But she worked down at the Space Center, and she worked there during the time when they were filming Transformers 3. And what they did when they came down here to film some of it is they just used actual employees who worked down at the Space Center, to play engineers and whatnot as background characters in the movie. And so my mom got to do that. She got to be just a background person in Transformers 3. And she got to meet a bunch of the stars like John Turturro, and I think she got to meet Michael Bay and all of that. The only person she said she didn't meet that she wanted to was Shia. But she said that was mostly because he was a little standoffish. He's kind of kept to himself, so she didn't really want to go bother him. But yeah, ever since then, she's called herself a movie star. Like, yeah, I'm a movie star, It's like, yes, you are, mama. Yes, you are. Man, so you work at a museum, Darkon? Because that's awesome. I love museums. Absolutely love them. Every time I go to DC, I make sure I spend a lot of time in, like, Air and Space Museum. A lot of that stuff. Person is addicted to dying over there. Well, I'm not this time. I will be sitting right here. Hey, stop it. Boys, learn your lesson. Don't hug the servitor. Nope. Taylor did not learn his lesson. He's going right back to hugging the servitor like, you can't stop me. I'm going to hug that ball. That is this man's manifest destiny, to hug a ball. Get him! Get him before they teleport! I did until 2015, moved to corporate security now. Ooh, you moved to the big money. I respect it. Absolutely respect it. Hell, if I hadn't been at my job for as long as I've been there, if I weren't there for as long as I have been, getting close enough to feasibly retire soon, I probably would have left to go work down at one of the companies that works near the Space Center. Go into security, go into IT or something. There's a lot of jobs down there. Who knows? Maybe someday I will. It's just, I've been at my job for 17 years. It's hard to walk away from that. I got a pension. I got retirement. I got benefits. I get paid pretty well. Though I could always get paid more. Dude, it's the reason why I don't, go super hard on streaming. I'd love to stream full time, but I don't know if I'd have the time to do it. I mean, streaming full time, it's just not always a viable. Oh, he actually did go and hit up Tolan. Good stuff.
Could help move this process along, Saladin?
It's so hard to make it a reliable living now, especially with the changes that YouTube and Twitch have made. It's real hard to build an audience, and it's real hard to make a living out of it. God bless the people who do. Like, I saw Fallout talking about it the other day, and it's like, oh, God bless him, man. He was able to make it work. I'd love to do it full time. I'd love to stream full time. Or even as much, as we used to. But man, gotta go to work. Gotta make a living. Why does it take so long for the activity to end? Closest thing I've had to a celebrity neighbor was a stripper named Coco who lived 2 doors down. Were you able... how do I phrase this? How did you know she was a stripper, and were you able to verify? I am 90% sure that I lived near a stripper when I was younger in California. It was this blonde lady, of course she was blonde, who had gigantic fake cans, who never seemed to like go to a 9 to 5. She only really left the house at night, like she would only seem to go to work at night, and she never left in a suit. And I would watch her, getting ready to leave in the evenings, and I'd be like, huh. And her kid would be like, yeah, no, my mom's going to work. And I'd be like, huh, she's not wearing, like, work attire. She's just wearing some casual clothes. I wonder what it is she does. I'm 90% sure that woman was a stripper. Good for her. She made it work. The neighborhood, that was a nice neighborhood I lived in back there in California, so she made some money. Oh yeah, you know what? That's another good reason for using centrifuge right now. I gotta get these activity completions up. This takes forever. Getting the targets killed, no time at all. The activity completions are just draining my soul. Mayhem was generally the best week to get that done, because those matches go by fast, and as long as you have centrifuge equipped, you get it good, but man... Guess I just gotta wait for a week where there's a good Nightfall, throw it on Grandmaster or whatever, and just farm that out. My ex-husband's family was from Rockford, Illinois. His grandparents lived on the same street as Weird Al's grandparents. That's awesome. That's really cool. Oh yeah, Dargon, I saw your comment about having, the lockdown procedures for Secret Service when, like, a politician, especially the president, shows up. I actually have experience with that. Because like I said, my parents worked, out with a lot of the NASA-linked companies out there. Before I start this conversation, I remember it was Bring Your Family to Work Day once, and President Bush, came in because they were there all the time to do the latest projects, make appearances and all that kind of stuff. And man, that was interesting watching how they locked down that entire building, quarantined basically all the people, all the non-employees who were working there, and even some of the employees who just basically didn't have security access to a certain area. It was fascinating watching the Secret Service work. But yeah, they locked that down when POTUS comes around. All right, what you got to say, Thunder Thighs?
This is awful.
Sure is. You ever been outside of Seoul?
Never had a reason to.
Can't say I recommend it. Saw some stuff while I was out there. Bad stuff. A world colder than you can imagine. Creatures that suppressed the light.
Ooh.
My crew.
We're talking about the obelisk.
Let's just say we wore out our welcome. Creatures started closing in.
When he killed the rest of his crew.
Trigger fingers got itchy. Some of us froze to death. A lightless, final death. The others, they didn't go so quiet. Not until I shut them up.
Yeah, when he had to kill his crew.
Not sure how long I stayed after that. Had to mod my ghost to survive. Used the parts from... I did what it took to get off-world. And now I'm here.
I'm no stranger to combat, but... How did you leave it all behind?
I didn't. Some things you carry with you forever. But eventually, they stop feeling too heavy to lift.
Thanks for the drink, Drifter.
Anytime, Sloan.
Yeah, it's cool they're getting into that bit of the lore. If you've never read that lore card from Drifter, I can't remember what it's titled, but it's fun. It's really fascinating. It talks about his history when he was basically out of the system with his crew off-world, and they landed on a planet that had this weird obelisk that these odd creatures came from that drained and suppressed light. And it's played kind of like a version of John Carpenter's The Thing. How first they stayed away. Then, like, after a while, after of him and his crew being there, they started appearing closer to them. Eventually drained the light from, like, most of his crew and drove some of them crazy. It might have been Aphelions and stuff like that. It was a really phenomenal piece of lore. I love it. So to hear it talked about in-game, really cool. I dig it. Alright, Thunder Thighs, what do we got this week? That's why I call her Thunder Thighs, by the way. Look at them cheeks. This girl does her squats. I'd eat it.
Anathema. Calamity. That which cannot, must not come to pass. A wordless denial. A fleeing God. Betrayal. And escape. The pursuit for the final shape.
Alright, long girl. Let's go hear what the teleprompter has to say.
We're almost there. My link with Asa feels crystal clear. It's a little frightening, but strangely comforting too. A lot changed while I was gone. It feels like the entire universe moved on without me, and now I'm struggling to catch up. Old enemies became new allies. New enemies wield the light against us. And old allies. Friends. Like Amanda. Sometimes I wonder, if I returned to the tower, would it even be my home anymore? Or would I just be a phantom? A forgotten memory wandering its streets at night. Zivu Arath's voice keeps telling me I don't belong there. That the battlefield is my home. That it always has been.
Maybe she's right. Maybe reliving what I went through over and over again is a way for me to stay in familiar territory.
Cringe.
To remain in the hell that I know. And avoid the one I dread.
Nah, you gotta dive in, girl.
Either way, the mission comes first. I have to see it through to the end, regardless of where I end up when it's done.
Can't be scared, gotta dive in. I had an Evo X that was chosen to be a hero car in an Amazon Prime series. That's awesome, David. Unfortunately, the series didn't make it past the pilot. Oh no. That's still really cool. That's a story to tell people. Yeah, just jumping back to the Transformers 3 thing. I've told the story before. In addition to my mom, getting to play a part, although, the background part, I don't even know if they actually even used any of the scenes she was in the movie. But in addition to that, one of the cool things that they did when they were finished filming for the day one day, they were like, you know what? We want to gin up some press for the film and say thank you to like the Kennedy Space Center people who are who let us come out here and use their facility and all that kind of stuff to shoot some scenes. And so what they did is they sent the vehicles from Transformers, like the trucks, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, all those. They sent them out to the visitor complex, and they were gonna let people come and like do a photo op, like you can go take a picture with it. And so as soon as they made that decision, they had talked to people who were there on set about it. My mom was on set when she heard that, so she immediately calls me and is like, "Hey, go to the Space Center visitor complex right now." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "'Cause they're about to roll Optimus Prime up in there and they're gonna let people take pictures with it." I was like, I'm on it. I hop in my car. Visitor complex is like maybe 10-15 minutes away from where I live. Rode on down there. I got there before they got there. So I got to where they were going to set it all up, and there were a few people who were already there, mostly crew members, and they're like, "How did you know to come here?" And I was like, "My mom's on set." They're like, "Oh, well, sweet, yeah, come over here and hang with us." And then I got to sit back and watch the caravan with all the vehicles, all the Transformers riding into the Space Center parking lot, and they came parked right next to me. Put them all up in display. They were driven by basically all of the stunt drivers who do all the stunts for the movies. They're the ones who drove them all over there. So I got to meet all the movie stunt drivers. I got to meet the guy who drives like a Bumblebee and all of that and talk with him for a little bit. And they were just going to let people go and take pictures of them. Like, you can go get your picture taken near Optimus Prime, but they weren't going to let anybody in it. Like, about 20 minutes into it, it's like some people start showing up, paparazzi starts showing up, fans start showing up and watching. About 20 minutes into it, they go, like, the dude who's running it all gets a call and goes, "Are you sure?" "All right, cool." Turns over and looks at us, some of the people who were there first, and was like, "You guys want to sit in Optimus Prime?" I was like, wait, what? They were, like I said, they weren't going to allow anybody to get in them, but they got a call midway through it. I guess it got okayed by somebody back over on set, and so they let us actually get in them and take pictures. So I got to get in the driver's seat of Optimus Prime and take a picture. I got to get in the driver's seat of Bumblebee and take a picture. It was probably one of the top 10 coolest things I've ever done. Absolutely, that was a neat day. That is what we would call that, a neat day. Sidebar, so I swear I have a madam as one of my tenants, but she'll say she's into real estate. Just a rumor at this point, but all her clients are men. She dresses in appropriate uniform, so we ran with it. Listen, is she paying her mortgage? If so, let her do her thing. Tell her to give you a discount on the OnlyFans. As long as she ain't bringing any crack dealers, and she's making her payments on time, I can dig it. The only celeb bragging I've got is meeting Lindsay and the author that wrote the Aragon books. Oh, really? I like Aragon. That's awesome. Oh, got another audio log.
The ever-forward march of time has a humorous way of looping in on itself. Doesn't it?
In some ways, a long-lived perspective makes it difficult not to see trends die and resurface.
Do you think that's how the witness sees us? Variations of potential, or lack thereof?
What's really on your mind?
Sloan. She is singularly focused on her mission. That type of focus. You forget to come up for air. It's like a death when it's over.
Your command can be an anchor, keep her from drifting. That's what I tried to do for you.
Yeah.
I seem to recall pushing back against your methods quite often.
We always
The
do.
Dark Age drove us to extremes. Your style of leadership is more refined than mine.
It wasn't long ago that I was your pupil. Since then, I'd like to think we've developed a trust beyond authority or duty. How did you foster that friendship while being my superior?
You're not listening, Zavala. I didn't. Remember, you left my tutelage. All I did was give you the lessons I thought you needed to survive.
Like a
Nothing
dad.
more.
Yep.
You say I can't be all things.
I'm saying I can't tell you what you want because our friendship was not of my making. When the Iron Lords fell, when the Red Legion caged the Traveler, when the pyramids filled our skies, my heart was not open. You were. Despite your doubts, others see you as a pillar of strength. They're drawn to the shade you provide. Just stay standing.
Yeah, that was a very dad lesson from Saladin to Zavala. Like, Zavala's sitting there thankful, like, man, how did you impart all of these good lessons into me? He's like, I did what I could. I didn't act like your friend. And only later did you, just like every kid with their parents, when you grow up, you reflect on the things that your parents taught you and you realize, damn, yeah, they were right. They were right. They did know what was going to happen. They did know how I was going to grow up. They did know what was best for me. And you take those lessons to heart. That was that conversation between Zavala and Saladin. It's good stuff. The writing this season has been pretty good. And it breaks my heart that we don't have Lance Reddick anymore. It absolutely does. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today's live stream. It's funny, you might see from the title of this stream, this was supposed to be a stream where I talk about mid-season fatigue, because I think that's something that a lot of the community is probably feeling a little bit right now. We're only a month into this season, and it kind of feels like we're 2 months in. People are kind of feeling that fatigue a little bit, but we got so caught up in good conversation talking about other things that I didn't even get a chance to complain. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. That is the way I like it. This is what I love about live streaming. You guys are so much fun to talk to. And man, if it were a more viable career path, I would do it 24/7. That's not on you, that's on me. It's been a viable career path for me. Your boy is just lazy and I never stream when I'm supposed to. One day I will get back to doing it right. Who knows? Maybe it'll be next week. Like I said, we are going to have a lot of free time for live streams next week because I have got, a lot of time off of work coming up. I am looking to chill and do some fun Florida summer things. And for me, that definitely means staying inside, out of the sun, shirtless, and on a live stream talking to people all over the world. It's going to be good. I think we're probably going to do some Destiny live streams next week. We're definitely going to do a Division 1 or 2 because we got a new season of content in that. There's some new things that went live, I think, this last week that I haven't had a chance to play. It's looking real interesting and real fun. But for right now, that is going to be it for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love your faces. It is Friday, which means Zur is around. Make sure you go check him out, see what he's got. See what he's brought as a little gift for your boy. I hope you guys have yourself a wonderful weekend. To all the new follows, all the new subs, make sure you guys go check out not only my YouTube channel, but also me on Rumble at rumble.com/theblacklink. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Rumble is really popping off, by the way. Have you guys seen the moves that Rumble's been making? They are acquiring talent. It's looking good. They are making big moves, and I think they may legitimately be the platform of choice if you don't want to deal with YouTube, Twitch, or any of those mainstream platforms nonsense. I absolutely love it over here on Rumble, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it. All right, I'm out for now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty. We'll see you on the next one. Love your faces. Always shirtless, Shiloh. And because I'm losing weight, I almost look good shirtless again. I can't wait. I can't wait, baby. I can't wait.